But we need you to be the man.
Hopefully y'all having a good day.
How y'all doing? My name is Timothy, and I am here with the big stepper, the first stepper, my brother, and my mentor. You know, one of my many beloved mentors. Today we're gonna be talking about what wakes me up every morning. So what wakes me up every morning is remembering where I'm coming from, you know, and something that keeps me content in my journey is knowing that there's other people who wanted this for me and people who couldn't change my mind about anything. You know, it had to come from me. I had to change myself first, and that's a huge thing for me. Pause it real quick. So when I realized that I was done and I was changing, it scared me. It scared me. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I had faith. I knew that I was scared that I wasn't gonna be able to do anything that I aspired to do. I was scared I wasn't gonna be able to save enough money for a long period of time, over and over. I was scared that I wasn't gonna do it right. I was scared that no one was gonna help me. You know, I was very codependent on a lot of things, but not enough for my mindset. And but when I decided, I made the decision. It's always something called the decision. You have to make the decision. Your decision, it makes the difference, you know, and it's something that I have to stick to. Even if it's not clear, it develops a spirit in me. All right, pause. The way my environment and the people around me changed when my recovery started for me mentally, physically, and spiritually was I felt bad for everybody, including myself. I saw people who were no longer in pain, who were no longer insane, people who were content in this sense of false reality. You know, I no longer wanted to believe that I was supposed to be living like that. I didn't want to believe that I wanted my pain to be an excuse. I didn't believe that I wanted my drugs to be my excuse. I didn't want to live underground. You know, for a long time I felt hidden from the truth. You know, I always had a black cloud over my head, and that wasn't supposed to be consistent. It would be a really good day, a bright day, and I would turn it into something negative, you know, and that changed my world. You know, it didn't happen overnight, but it was something that I decided. I decided to keep a vision. I decided to change my vision. And that's not verbatim. It happened through prayer, through faith, through advice, through compliments, people telling me that I have potential. And thank y'all for listening. I'm here to tell you that you do have potential, and you can have faith, and you can have a better vision, no matter what.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Solo C3, Body, Mind, Spirit. What's going on?
What you were done?
I knew when I was done, the moment I woke up one day and realized that I didn't want to do this anymore, because looking for drugs in general is already like a headache. The second thing that came with that was the fact that the drama that surrounds it. So you're looking for drugs, you got drama that surrounds that, and then the dangerous activities that I was partaking in also played a major role. So it was a cocktail of disaster every single day. So after a while, you know, I would just start hoping this would end. You know, I just wanted it to be over with. And the day I actually realized I was done, I was looking that day and I couldn't find no money, couldn't find nothing at all. And then all of a sudden, you know, I ran into some people that were from Uplift, and that's when my journey started. And those same emotions were with me during that time. So I'm coming back and I'm like, I'm so done with this. And then the next thing you know it, there's help, like right there. People, places, and things. Actually, that's a really good question. And what's funny about it is that it actually started before the actual change itself. Once I had the want to actually be done with it, everything around me changed, which means that my toxic friends became more influenced. I guess you could kind of say, if you want to make a word, more toxically. And then it was like all my good surroundings were growing bigger space, but it wasn't like it was they were going away from me. Like my good surroundings were just waiting for me, because then I realized how small my circle was. Places for a minute, it took a while, and I guess I had to manifest that off of the want of this sheer thought, constantly wondering and thinking and hoping, how the hell am I going to get out of this situation? Am I ever going to have some sobriety? I guess, when you meditate on an idea long enough, eventually it'll come to you. So to answer your question full circle, it was kind of like the people had shifted, and then the opportunity was provided in the midst of chaos. And I took that. So once I took the opportunity, then my surroundings changed, because my people had already had changed. So things was a bit tricky, because things also include behavior. So one thing that I had to do that I hadn't started on yet was changing my actual behavior. And that didn't actually start until places had changed. Once places had changed, then I realized I had to start changing my behavior, and of course I came to therapy.
So what about when people need, so how can somebody know that they're done? Or how can they, if you could point out some signs for people to be triggered to be done, or realize that they're done, how can people know that they're done?
The one way you know when you're done is, number one, if you're watching this or listening to this, all right, you've already planted a seed. Curiosity, the desire, the thoughts, the stress, the list goes on. After a while, you start building a tolerance to what you were already dealing with. And that tolerance is that I'm sick of tolerating what I'm going through. So once you start building that tolerance, it's going to start to overflow to the point where you're going to take action. Some people don't know how to take that action, but the best action to do is actually what you're doing right now. If you are listening and watching this broadcast, you've already literally have taken the first step. Even if you turn right back around and go back to what you were doing, it's not going to stop. You're going to want this because you wanted it all along. It's in you. It's just, it goes from the mind to the body, and then it affects the spirit. So you go from the thinking to the physical to the spiritual, and once you start putting gears in motion, it can take you anywhere. But if I had to say anything though, one of the biggest things you gotta keep in mind for anybody who's trying to get right is make sure you have an idea of what type of consistency that you want in your sobriety. It's very, very important, because now you are already taking the steps to prevent from relapsing. You're already in the midst of your addiction. So while you're taking action, put that in your mind that once I'm done, I don't want to relapse. So that way you're not just taking the steps, you're not just doing it, and you're fighting urges. You already done put that inside you to be predetermined that I'm going to fight these urges, that I'm not going to let this get to me. You're going to avoid the relapse chapter of that. So that's pretty much how I would answer it. Going through withdrawals, what kind of things do you go through within the mind?
So when I'm dealing with withdrawals, I'm a messed up. I'm real messed up in the head. I'm a real great person, but with that comes great responsibility, so I have to fight really great, consequences. I call them. There's something called triggers, when you're recovering, when you're finding sobriety. I go through things such as thoughts, memories, dreams, especially when I'm going through a physical consequence, like maybe jail, a falling out with a friend or family, and I'm trying to confront those things and make amends. I haven't been through, there's a proper way to do it, they call it the 12 steps. But beyond that, the way that I fix these things in my mind is, I had to turn, for me personally, which will help anybody as well, I turn everything into a daily task. Everything you want, you have to create that spirit every day. You can jump into a spirit, you can jump into a great spirit. You can wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but you can also do what you're supposed to do. My mom was always huge on not making excuses, So if it wasn't for her, and with that trait of mine, I wouldn't really know how to get out of a bad mood. I wouldn't know how to apologize. I wouldn't know how to know before my sobriety that I wanted to be sober. I wouldn't be able to notice certain things in the midst of my addiction. So it all starts with the mind. I know people as a human, we go through a lot of things mentally. But like C3 said, it goes mind, body, and spirit. Your body will follow your mind, and your spirit will follow your body. And just an idea can change the world, your world. The way that you see it can change everything. Some people knew your potential will spill over, During my addiction, some people would look at me and be like, why would you even go to doing this? How could you do this? And to the point to where, in my perspective, they felt betrayed. They felt like I betrayed myself. And in the end, that was me witnessing that. It was something that changed my life. It would be something that made me feel bad for being who I was being at the time. It gave my decisions strength. So when I decided to continue, it hurt me more than it was making me feel better. When I chose to get better, it made me feel better than not. Yes, sir.
Okay. And my next question is, when it comes to confidence, because to me, you're a confident dude, right? How would you teach somebody how to build confidence mentally, physically, and spiritually?
If you ask my girl, I'm not as confident as everybody would think, right? And that's the real reason. The person that you're closest to knows you better. But criticism has turned me into a beast, But people give you advice, they give you their peace of mind, their 2 cents, but they don't expect you to use it. When you use it, that's when you become something bigger than yourself. That's when you become perfect, so to say. That's an opportunity. I take criticism as an opportunity. And there is different kinds of advice, There's like 10 different ways to listen, there's 10 different ways to speak, and there's 10 different ways to see, And criticism, compliments. I'm one of those people who needs, what do they call it, verification or?
Constructive criticism?
No. When you want people to notice that you're doing better and stuff like that.
The validation?
Validation. Validation has brought me a long way. It kept my character in check. It kept my mind in check. It kept everything in check for the most part. And so, to build your confidence, use these things. Because eventually people will stop giving you this confidence. People will stop giving you advice. And the one thing you're going to want is validation. You're going to want results. You're going to want results before you invest in your life savings to something. Your whole state of mind. Like you want reassurance before you invest in your heart into somebody, your trust into somebody. And Your confidence is you doing better. You already know a million things that are right, you know? And it only takes a few wrong things to let you know that you're living your life wrong. So definitely just do a lot of right things. Do a lot of right things. You know what I'm saying? Back to back to back every day if you can. And the value of your life shoots all the way up, you know? And people have faith in you, and then your situation is gonna be you trying to figure out how to get feedback.
And my last question is going to be and I think this is a really good one. A lot of people don't think about this, but what is their pros and cons as far as staying sober and getting high, getting drunk? What are the pros and cons, and how does being sober outweigh your using?
To keep it simple, man, if you're using, you're gonna do what a user does. If you're sober, you're gonna do what a sober person does. You know, I'm a weird person. I'm inspired by huge buildings when I go downtown. I'm inspired by seeing a million cars pass by. And I don't think a lot of those people are using. I don't think a lot of those people are drunk. I don't think that they're high. I don't think that they're thinking about using. I don't think that they have the same things on their mind that I have in mind. Things that I'm holding on to, they might be holding on to it, but the way I visualize that person riding by in that car, they might even wave at me when I wave at them. As weird as it may sound. They have faith, you know, and that's something that I didn't have. I didn't believe that I would be able to get a job and hold a job. I didn't believe that I could pay my bills and save money. I didn't believe that I could have a child and be with them forever. I didn't believe that I could say what I needed to say to someone who hurt me and them forgive me. Or I didn't even think that I would have the faith to ask them to forgive me and to have them, like me, forgive them. Just let them know that I forgive them for anything that they could have possibly done. And you know, in my program, they tell me to focus on myself because I worry about everybody else. I feel for everybody else. You know, and I don't really see people told me plenty of times, hey, take your own advice. Take your own advice. And so I'm turning the page, you know, and I'm not gonna say every day. Let's say you got let's say every month is a page, you know, and it gets summarized, you know, and do things that count. Do things that count. Let's get